Hey everybody, it's time for another Grant Draws. Thank you everybody for showing up, and thank you to our guest, Michelle Lodge. How are you
Thank
doing this
you for
evening?
having me.
Cool. Yeah. So I do want to discuss my Kickstarter a little bit first, just because we only have like 10 more minutes. Um, I apologize
Oh,
when I booked you for today. I didn't realize that this was the last day uh, for my Kickstarter.
oh, that's okay. Yeah, get it up there.
Yeah, so this is
This is
going to be
yeah, go ahead.
this is exciting because I actually have something cool to show you, and we will talk about your Kickstarter, but I just wanted to show everybody one thing first. Something kind of cool. We actually just hit a bit of a milestone where, as you can see there on the screen, we're currently at exactly $4,000,
That is awesome.
which is so cool because that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping. I mean, obviously, I was hoping we would make $1 million, but um, I figured if we could make it to $4,000, that would be pretty freaking cool. And we just barely made it. Thanks, Carl. Um, yeah,
That is really awesome.
and what we have 7 minutes left. So yeah, so I did post I posted the link, and I hope everybody can. I mean, I'm sure if you guys are watching my show and listening and stuff, I'm sure you guys have either already backed it or you already own the individual issues or something. So uh, I'm gonna go through the comments real quick, and then we'll discuss. Maybe we'll do like the countdown. I don't know, and then
Oh
we'll
yeah.
discuss your Kickstarter. Um,
Okay.
so Foxy was the first one here today. She says, "I'm going to be mostly in lurking mode because she's eating a whole pizza." Oh, she has regret
Oh,
for
oh,
eating a whole pizza.
little bellyache probably.
Dan is saying, "Hunger is not to be tolerated. Eat, my lady." I wonder if that's a personal pan pizza, or if it's. Do they still make personal pan pizzas? I don't know.
Probably.
And Carl is saying, "Poor Foxy." Uh, yeah, I hope she's all right. I hope she doesn't have food poisoning or something. She said it's been a while since I was that hungry, but it was worth it. She thinks. Donna is
Take it
saying, "Take
easy.
it easy." Hi, Donna again, and Don is saying, "Hello." Yes, that's thumbnail screens, green room shenanigans. Yeah. So, well, further down, when I first read what the name of your new comic book was, I thought that it was a typo,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, does she realize that she put a four-letter word in the thing?
Are
And
are you
then
talking
and then
about
I
like
read
the
the
link?
comment. Right.
The link? Yes. Yes. So yeah. Turns out they don't show punctuations in those, I guess.
Oh,
Did
okay.
not know that when I
Okay.
was making it, but
But you didn't misspell the word. You didn't misspell the word clock.
no.
If that gives the people in the chat any idea of what I'm referencing.
Yeah, the L is a exclamation point.
Right. So Joe Bachman is saying, "Good evening, folks. Probably going to watch from the phone for a bit." So Joe does a show before mine, which is very nice of him because the thing that's nice is he always says, "Go watch Grant's show after this." So,
No.
and that's the only reason why I have any viewers. Let's be honest. And I should mention that the Independent Creator Directory sponsors the show. I think I told you about the Independent Creator Directory last time you were on the show, Michelle.
Yeah.
But essentially, it's like the Internet Movie Database, but for like independent creators, not just comic book creators, but also like role playing, game enthusiasts, that sort of thing.
That's cool.
And Trey is Joe's wife, and she's saying long time no
Aw.
see. And Foxy says so long. Oh, they're saying that because everybody here was watching Joe's show before this. Just forever. Yeah, everybody's mentioning that it hasn't been that long since they saw each other. And Dan
Oh.
is asking, why am I still hungry? I already cooked garlic toast, chipped beef, and gravy, and scrambled. Man, that
Dan,
sounds like a
you,
stoner dinner. Dan, were you smoking something before you made all that stuff? I
he's
don't
got to
know.
go over to Foxy's. She's got all the pizza.
Right. So Carla's saying that all we think about is sex or food. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know where the sex came in, but yeah, I mean, we do think about food a lot. Dan is saying, I mean, seriously, how much food does a 67-year-old redneck need in one day? Foxy is saying, just our monkey brains taking charge, Carl. And I might want to hurry reading these if I want to get back to my Kickstarter before it ends. Oh, actually, it has 2 minutes, so I might take a break from reading these. Well, I have time to read a few more. So Carl says the monkey's attorney will be in contact for that. So I mentioned here there's going to be lots of green rooming. So basically, the green room is an inside joke. The green room is a show that Carl does on Friday nights that gets very, very, very dirty. And I didn't realize until just a few minutes ago, like that the premise of your new comic book is, would you say it's R-rated?
Well, I guess. At least 16 and older. It's not overt, it's not a dirty book, but
It's
it's
not safe for work, right?
not really, no. But it's for grown-ups, I'd say.
Okay. So
For
Dan
sure.
is saying that he's thinking about opening up a Discord in case this gets a little bit too dirty. And he also says that would be a great name for a noir detective, just in case. So I'm going to take a break from reading the comments because
1 minute.
we literally have a minute to go, and it looks like it's going to end right on $4,000, which is like the weirdo in me almost hopes that nobody else backs just so that it's exactly 4,000.
My husband is the same way. He likes those even numbers.
Yeah.
It's like he tries to tip like where the change will add up to an even number.
Yeah.
Like I can't do that much math, man.
Does he do the thing at the gas pump where like he'll like try to like almost squeeze like more gas in until it's like an even dollar?
He's done that, yeah.
Okay. So we have 20 seconds left. 15.
Oh,
And 10.
this is an exciting moment to be like with you for. Pretty cool.
4, 3, 2, 1. Yay! And the fireworks.
Yay!
Yeah, I've never had a Kickstarter end on like a perfect number like that. Have you ever had that happen?
Not that I can remember, but I have kind of a poor memory. But I don't think so.
Yeah, it's. I mean, hey, I'm not complaining. I like. It's weird. Like 4,000 was my goal, and we got that. And I hope you don't mind saying, like, I did notice that you were a backer, so thank you.
Yeah,
And
I'm excited.
And I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are backers as well. So thank you guys. Thank you everybody who helped. I mean, even if you didn't, if even if you couldn't help out financially, thank you for sharing my posts or liking my posts and or even just putting up with me for the past like month and a half.
Do you ever
So
think that you're bothering people by posting? Like,
yeah,
oh,
so
I need to
like
post.
I try not to think like that.
Good.
Um, I don't know. Like I almost feel like you have to get that out of your head.
Hmm.
Do you worry about bothering people?
Oh, yes, I very much so. I do it anyway because you have to. But I'm wondering
Okay.
how many people are putting me on mute, or things that just are just me playing mind games with myself.
Well, you have a personal page and a professional page, which I don't.
Mm,
So like that's something that I always think. Like I always think like some guy who I met like 9 years ago, like probably like I like maybe we worked together for like a month and we became Facebook friends. He's seen all these posts and like thinking, what the hell is going on with this guy? Why is he posting all these weird comic book related posts? Because not only do I post my stuff, I try to share my friends too. So I'm gonna finish up doing the chats and then we will take a look at your Kickstarter.
okay.
Donna is saying, don't forget to like and share. Thank you, Donna.
Uh,
Then they have to fill up the chat. Technical problem. Guest saw the chat and ran away. I don't think that happened. Foxy's saying, we're well behaved mostly. And Donna's saying, oh my God, Grant, your Kickstarter. I can't post the link though. Yeah,
Aw.
I think she said that like right as I got 4,000. Because it happened only like a couple minutes before we started the show. And I was like, wow. Like I was thinking to myself, man, I wish somebody would just like come in and post so it would be just over 4,000 and then like it happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I am going to post the link to your Kickstarter here. Okay. So if you guys want to check out Michelle's Kickstarter, you haven't launched yet. It's still in the
Mm.
preview page.
Yeah, it launches on Friday.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I will definitely be in on that. And Dan
Thank
is
you.
saying behave. We don't know how to do that. And Foxy's saying only sometimes. And I posted the link to my Kickstarter. And Carlos saying congratulations. There's a lot of congratulations. Foxy's saying good job. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your congratulations. And thank you guys for helping. And Donna's
Aw,
saying there's screen happening all over the studio right now.
that's cute.
Thanks. Yeah. So, and then there's a lot of people saying hi to you, Michelle. So that's nice.
Hey, Dawn, I love your cat avatar. Like, I just
Are you a cat
want to
person
pet your
too?
cat. I'm an animal person, so cat,
Cool.
dog, yeah, everything. Hey, Carl.
And M. Bardo is saying that he or she is doing dishes. I don't know M. Bardo, so I'm not sure if you're he or she or they.
That's a he.
Oh, it is? Is
You.
it a friend of yours?
He's actually the my co-writer, the comedian I
Oh,
work with.
now
Yeah. So
is this the same guy you worked with on Home Free?
no,
Oh,
very
okay.
different, very different styles of writing. No, that's John Kratky. Me and him are still working on things together that'll be coming on down the pipeline next
Cool.
year, probably at this point. But yeah, glad he's here.
Yeah. So Don is saying that we didn't see her long enough because she was on the last show too. So Dan is saying the reason you have viewers is that you are awesome. And B.A. Cam would tell you to believe in yourself. I think he's referring to when I said earlier that the only reason why I have any viewers is because Joe promotes me, but I appreciate that, Dan. And M. Bardo is saying, "I smoke, then I wash the dishes." That actually isn't a bad idea. I mean, I don't partake, but when I have, it does kind of make doing like boring tasks a little bit more fun, right?
Oh yeah.
So Dan is saying that he cooked a good breakfast for his wife, and that he doesn't do any drugs other than booze. I think that's when I was implying that he had the munchies earlier.
Oh right.
So Don is saying, "Bring on the confetti." And Foxy says she doesn't want to do confetti because she'll still be finding it years later. And Don is saying that she's proud of me. Thank you, Don. And Joe Bachman is also saying congratulations. Dan is saying, "I have been trying to get people to buy my book since 2014. I hate being the troll in the corner, but I need to get my stories out there." I think he's referring to like when I asked you if you were worried about scaring or annoying people.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? The link that I sent was really long, so I'm going to try to copy and paste that again. Okay, I posted your link again. And Don is saying race against the smiley face.
Yeah.
Yes. And she's saying, "Thank you. That's Georgette." Oh, her cat's name is Georgette. And now you know why I fell in love with Grant's Beowulf.
Oh yes. Yeah. Okay.
A lot of people who like Beowulf are cat people, I've noticed. And M. Bardo is saying that's probably what you get for washing dishes after smoking.
Gotta watch for those knives.
And Don is sympathizing with him. And he just said he didn't want to do that, but the mug had a chip. Oh, yeah, that'll get you every time.
Oh, that sucks.
All right, I'm going to share your comic book now, Fantastic Freaks. Okay, so Fantastic Freaks issue 1, Race Against the... we'll leave out the last word, I guess. I mean,
clock.
Right. And you can say anything you want to on here. Like
Sure.
I'm pretty sure there are no children watching or listening.
Okay.
Maybe some people with the sense of humor of children. But I posted the link in the chat, so if anybody wants to go check it out, they can do that now. Now this is still in preview, so we can't really see too much of the page, but do you want to kind of explain the premise?
Sure. So the story is Frankenstein's monster, Frank, who you see here on the cover, has woken up from a bender in his apartment to find that his stick is missing. Right. So he goes off on a quest to try to retrace his steps and find out where it is. So he recruits his best friend Jackie for the search, and they start the venture on. They start this adventure basically without saying too much about issue 1 or where it goes from there, but it kind of kicks off.
So now is his best friend the girl wearing the glasses?
Or yes, that's her.
Okay. So okay.
Yeah, so that's Jackie there with the glasses, and then Heidi is the other woman.
Heidi is the kind of more risque dressed one.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Did you ever hear that song? What's it called? Detachable Penis?
You know what? Yes, I. My friend Andrew Peapoy. I sent him as I was started to work on this book. I sent him what I was working on, and he sent me that music video, and I
Yeah,
was like, "What?"
yeah, it's kind of a weird little song, but yeah, King Missile, M. Bardo is mentioning. Uh, he's mentioning King Missile was the name of the band. I don't. Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
know if they. I think they only had like one or two other songs besides that, but it's one of those songs that probably just became famous just for being so freaking strange.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
could see that for sure.
so okay, so first of all, did you come up with this premise, or did your friend M Bardo come up with
Um,
it?
it was probably more Mike, um, but it definitely came together during a conversation. So he asked me if I were to work on a TNA comic, what would that look like? And I said, I don't know. And I tried to think of the most absurd premise, which was the yummy mummy. And that kind of kicked off conversations about monsters. And then, um,
And so
yeah,
you started
kind of,
talking about like Frankenstein's
yeah,
appendage.
yeah.
So okay,
So
so that's
I'm sure it was Mike's idea. It had to have been, but it was during a chime in, Mike. It was you, right? It was definitely during a conversation, but I don't have the best memory he does.
yeah. So that was going to be my next question. So you said that you guys are co-writing this.
Yeah.
Um, so how does that work? Do you do you guys take turns writing scenes, or do you sit down and just brainstorm ideas? How does that work?
It's kind of a brainstorming sort of. It starts off by back and forth. He'll, if I'm remembering this correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but he kind of comes up with the joke before the story and then sort of knits it together. And then he'll kind of come up with a sequence of events. And then I'll take that and then I'll break it down further into, okay, what makes sense to go where, and then break it down page by page and then put the dialogue in. So,
Cool. Okay, so it
yeah.
sounds like it's kind of the two of you working together rather than you have like an assigned job or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna catch up on some of the comments and then we'll get right back to the interview. Dan, I think, is agreeing with you. You said earlier that you're an animal person, and
Mm.
Dan was saying that he likes dogs, cats, velociraptors, moths, and yet I'll make pet
Nice.
them that let me pet. Yeah, I think Dan lives out in the country, and I think sometimes he finds stray cats and stuff, which I
Aw.
admire because stray cats need homes. And Dawn is saying that the damn thing bit you. I don't know what she's referencing. I don't remember what we were
Maybe the
talking.
mug.
Oh, the mug. That's it, probably. Caro is saying, "Don't you hate it when that happens when things are missing?" I mean, I think you can speak for yourself, Caro. I don't know. I haven't had that problem personally. Okay, and you said his name is Mike. Mike is
Mhm.
mentioning the song that I was talking about is by King Missile. Yeah, if you guys get a minute, look up "Detachable Penis" by King Missile. It's one of the few, like, usually humor songs aren't really all that funny, but I actually think that song is pretty funny. And Mike is thanking
It's
you for
worth listening to for sure.
yeah, Mike is thanking you for making him sound like a deviant, and he says that you translate his stupid ideas. Would you say that that's accurate?
He puts it that way. I guess, but I don't think the ideas are stupid. I think they're funny.
Well,
So,
I think
but
I think
the
I'm
whole
sorry.
premise is kind of stupid. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, okay, so I was going to say I think that there's different skills. I mean, for instance, like one skill is coming up with the ideas, and then I think it's a different skill to be able to kind of carry out the idea. Um,
Mm.
I mean, I think a good example of that would be like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, where like a lot of times Stan Lee would get the idea, and then Jack Kirby would have to like translate it. I don't know if that's, and I
That's
realize
a
I think,
really good, yeah, that's a really good analogy actually of
well,
our
yeah,
way
and
of working, I'd say.
plus I'm sure you love the fact that I'm comparing you guys to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So who doesn't love that? Carl is saying the whole chat is deviant, so don't worry. Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about offending anybody who's watching my show. We have, uh, let's just say we like the more. I think you called it dumb. I would call it more like silly. But yeah, I also don't think that just because something is silly or dumb, that means you shouldn't do it. I think about how like Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird had a more serious comic book, and they were going to do the Ninja Turtles as like this funny little goofy one-off, and then
mm.
I mean, we all know how that worked out, right?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
So now here's an interesting factoid. Dan is saying that octopi have detachable penises. I didn't. Yeah, I guess I didn't know that either of those words were plural in that way. And he's saying that
Wow.
that way they can become a meal for their prospective spouse. Wow. Okay. Um, I mean, I guess
Good
that's
to
love.
know. Take it. It's yours.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're literally giving it away as opposed to just figuratively giving it away, right? So
Oh,
anyway,
man. That's awesome.
so back to the interview. So now, did you like? Is this what, a one shot? Is this going to be a mini series?
Mini series, 5 issues. They're all mapped out. Um, yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's fun.
So okay, so wow. So if it's going to be 5 issues, his penis must be really good and lost, right?
Well, God, I don't know how much to reveal right now.
I mean, yeah. I guess you don't have to reveal anything.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens between his waking up and the end. So,
Right. Yeah. So I'm curious. It looks like in the foreground is the Wolf Man.
mm,
How is the Wolf Man related, or is that giving stuff away too?
um, it no, it's not really giving it away. He's on the cover there.
Yeah.
So the wolf is how would I put this? Wolf owns the nightclub, which is their first um, stop
Okay.
in trying to retrace Frank's steps. So it turns out that he has a problem with Frank. So
Oh, okay. So I thought you were gonna say the Wolfman was maybe a one night stand, but
Oh,
that does it does well.
not quite.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't sure if I would give you ideas or if that would maybe misdirect from the plot. I don't know.
Oh no,
Okay.
no. I just it's hard to know how much to like throw out there and how much to leave like a mystery for people to just dive into things on their own.
Yeah, after I do these things, my wife always tells me that I gave away too much stuff, so I get yelled at whenever I do an interview. But yeah, so I won't judge you for giving too much stuff away or not giving stuff away. Um,
Okay.
I did want to mention Dawn is going to bed. Dawn, thank you for all the kind words and thank you for the congratulations. Um, Everybody's saying goodnight to Dawn. Dan is saying, "Hey, have a dick to play with at your leisure, lady. I'm going off to fight alongside the Justice League." I think he's talking about the octopus again.
Okay.
And Mike is saying Liberace furry is the best way to describe Wolfman. Okay.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
So would you use the
But
word
he is,
flamboyant?
I would say, fierce
Fierce. Okay.
in all of its terms, all of its applicable terms, both sassy and ferocious. Yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first comic book that you've co-written?
Yeah. 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 Yep.
'Cause to my knowledge, Home Free, you're mostly doing art, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Uh, yeah. It's a completely different working style because when I work with John, he's got the whole thing like, bam, here's your script,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
Now, does he give you like tight scripts, like, or does he kind of let you play around with it a little bit?
both they're for the most part pretty tight, which I like. Because it's just really easy for me to see his vision, so I can try to
Yeah.
like translate that to the best of my ability. Um, but there are times when he'll just describe something very briefly and then let me take the reins on it. Or if I want to change something because I think it'll look better a certain way, he's fine with me doing that most of the time. I can't remember a
Oh.
time when he hasn't been okay with that. But he's
So
real easy to work with.
yeah, I mean, does he ever write stuff that you look at and you think like, oh, I don't know how to like this isn't gonna work? Um, I don't know.
I've I've had to have him describe to me the location because in Home Free One, the hotel that the girls go to is like a U-shaped motel that has a parking lot in the front and then a parking lot around the back. And I just couldn't couldn't wrap my mind around how he had it written in the script. So he had to like
No, interesting.
draw it out. And
Did he draw
then
like a map? Did he draw like
yeah,
oh, interesting.
yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, got it.
So
And
okay, that's cool.
yeah, and there's been a few times where I've misread some sequences. Usually that's just because I'm reading too fast and I'll just miss something. Um, and I've gotten confused just from that. Um,
So did
but most of
you
the time,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, most of the time he's very clear.
Cool. So did you enjoy being a co-writer or do you think you'll go back to doing just drawing?
I very much enjoy writing. Um, I didn't have confidence in it. And then I started doing it, that confidence grows. So this series, as you know, I'm co-writing with Mike. And then John and I actually have a future project together that's co-written by me and him.
Okay.
So that was a completely different process that I normally work with John with. So that was new, and that'll be coming hopefully next year.
So it sounds like you enjoyed being a co-writer. Um, and
Yeah.
do you think you're going to try to? I mean, it's always nice when you at least have a hand in writing the stuff, right? Because I don't know,
Yes.
it gives you a little bit of more of an emotional attachment to the art, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. It feels more like yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds also like you have like you're kind of like me where you have like way more ideas than you have time to work on stuff.
Yes.
Because you're planning ahead already into what your next series is going to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because I have a file on my computer that I just call comic book ideas, and right now I have more comic book ideas. Like I'll probably be drawing these ideas like 20 years from now. I don't know. So do you have more ideas like maybe sequels to the Home Free or I don't know. I don't remember what you said the next idea for the next.
Okay. So there's nothing following Home Free that John and I have planned as of right now, but it's open, I guess. But
Yeah.
for the time being, that's pretty much a finished series. And then our next project with John is to revisit the graphic novel that we've already done and bring that to Kickstarter
Oh,
and
okay.
kickstart that. So that's
So I
called The
didn't.
Black Wall.
Yeah, I don't think I knew about that one. What's that one?
So that one is actually the prequel to Home Free, and it's very loose. So it's just the same world, and it's got a character, Sarah, who's young in the Black Wall, and then Home Free takes place about 10 years later. So you can read one or the other first, and you'll just get more of the world with either one that you read first. But the Black Wall is about 300 pages, and we ran it as a web comic for
Oh,
a long time. So it's never been printed. That's always been kind of the hope to get it into print. So we wanted to kickstart it, but you don't want to like try to bust into the gates of Kickstarter with a huge graphic novel without an
yeah.
audience to like back you. So we
Wow. So
decided to.
sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say we started to. That's where Home Free came from. Actually, it was like a short run series to sort of build our name, and then introduce our larger project.
Wow. So you did 300 pages online. Um,
Yeah.
is there anywhere that we could see that, like the website?
No, the website's down now, but you can get the comic, the PDF, and I think that's broken into 8 issues on johncrackkey.com.
Okay.
He's got them there, but Yeah,
Wow.
I'll be updating some of the art, and then we'll be presenting that.
So doing 300 pages without really like trying to publish it. I mean, I guess you published it online, but um, I mean, I don't know. I hope this isn't a rude question. Are you able to make money by publishing it online?
I don't think so. I don't. That would be a question for John because he ran the site. Um, I think he just wanted to have it made more than anything. I don't know because I never saw the back end of the site. I just produced the pages and sent them to him. So I don't I don't actually know what our readership was at that time, but I am hoping people are going to be excited about it on Kickstarter and give it a chance.
I guess the question I guess the point I was trying to make is that takes a lot of dedication
Hmm.
to 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 publish 300 pages, like not knowing if you're going to make any money off of them or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like I have a friend who's been doing a He-Man fan comic book for like something crazy like 7 or 8 years. He's been doing this He-Man fan comic book, and I've always asked him like he won't sell the comic book because he doesn't own the copyright to it, and
Oh,
so he gets home from work every night and he just draws and draws and draws this He-Man comic book. He's been doing this for like 7 or 8 years with
whoa.
like no chance of making any money off of it. And like I don't know if
Just
that's crazy or if that's dedicated. You know what I mean?
that's like that's like someone who's really got something they just got to get out, and they just want to have it in front of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
You ever have an idea that you just got to get out, like you got to make
yeah.
it?
Well, the thing that I always ask him is like, couldn't you have changed the characters like just enough so that it wouldn't be like He-Man or Skeletor?
Right.
You know what? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I would have done,
Mm-hmm. Same.
and then you could have sold those. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Is that all he makes?
Yeah, so far, like, I mean, I think he does commissions too. Um, yeah, I don't know if now that I've kind of called him crazy, I don't know if I want to mention his name or not. But I mean, he has a really popular YouTube channel, and I think he
Okay.
makes a little bit of money off of that
Oh,
because
nice.
he's also like while he's drawing. I mean, he films himself drawing, and while he's drawing, he's like a very funny, like very personable guy. So he has like a popular YouTube channel, but I don't think he's made any money like directly off of the comic book. And yeah, I hear what you're saying about like sometimes you have an idea that you just need to get out there. But like I said, I feel like if it was me, I would have figured out a way to try to make money off of it. I don't know.
I hear you.
But I then I
Even just
but
to
then
have it in print
yeah.
to be able to distribute. Yeah.
But I always think I think he has printed some comic books, but it's just for like friends and family. But
Oh.
you know, but like I was saying, like there's part of me that thinks that that's like more pure, like
Oh
because
yeah.
you know what, like he's not doing it for the money.
Right.
And I mean, like
That's all love
obviously,
right there.
yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, I don't do comic books for the money, but
Right.
I still want to make money, also. You know,
Right. Yeah. Both would be nice.
right?
Make money,
Exactly.
make comics. Both is grand.
So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's some dedication though. 7, 8 years making. Wow.
yeah. So I'm going to go back to the comments. Uh, Carlos saying it's better to have a backlog of ideas rather than sitting there staring at a blank page. So my problem is I always have trouble figuring out what do I do next. I
Mm,
don't know if you have that trouble too.
no.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. That sounds like a good problem though. Like how do you just like go with what you have the most inspiration for, or how do you figure that
Well,
out?
yeah. Well, one of the things that I'm trying to do is I'm trying. How do I put this? Like, I don't know. I follow this guy named Tyler James, who's like kind of like a Kickstarter guru.
Comics Tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he like the one thing that he's big on is he always says like as a comic creator you have to build a brand,
Mm.
which means like all of your stories should kind of follow like one genre or
Oof.
which
Oof.
yeah which
Bad
I
news bears for me.
yeah so
You
I
too?
mean
You have that trouble?
yeah well I mean obviously I do Beowulf and then I also do a horror anthology. So
Okay.
see like okay so I did this horror anthology and I'm looking at the backers and I'm realizing like if you were going to do a Venn diagram of the people who back my horror comic book and the people who back Beowulf, it's touching but just a tiny little bit. So I'm starting
Interesting.
so I'm starting to think like okay, am I shooting myself in the foot by jumping around from genre to genre?
Mm.
I don't know.
Mm. That's funny. I've been having a similar dilemma with my very odd tone shift from one launch to the next, right?
Yeah, that was going to be another question I asked you. So, I mean, Home Free was relatively a serious comic book,
Oh, very serious. Yeah. Yeah.
and so, I mean, do you like writing comedy more than like drama, or do you have a preference?
Oddly, no. Because I love both. And I like working on something that's deep and dark and, you know, moody, I guess, or noiry. But then after some working on that, it's like, oh, okay, I need something like light.
Yeah,
And so I'll like flip and go this other direction, and that'll feel great until I need more of that other. So I don't know. I don't know how to choose, and I really hope we don't have to be one thing. I'm counting
yeah,
on that.
yeah. Like I said, I don't know how much truth there is to it. I mean, I do know that Tyler James is a very, very, very successful comic book creator.
Yes.
So maybe I should be listening to him more. But then I also think like, do I necessarily want to be one of those comic book creators who just make certain comic books because they know that they can make money off of them? You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, yeah. No. Don't. I'm gonna say don't do that because
Yeah.
it comes out like you can tell when something's made for the pander and when something's made from heart.
Yeah, I
And
mean you definitely see on Kickstarter the people who are just chasing trends. You know what I
yes,
mean?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
And
I'm
you can
gonna
feel it when you read it too. It's like, oh, this is not, there's nothing deeper there
yeah,
as
I mean I
opposed to something someone's passionate about. You can tell.
yeah, I mean I've talked to people who have like told me, oh, if you had more scantily clad women in your comic book, it would sell better. And I'm like, yeah, but these characters are like my babies. I don't want to
Hmm.
have them half naked. I don't know.
Hmm. don't change because do what you feel is right
That's
for
the
your
other.
story.
I mean, that's the other thing. If you start chasing trends, are you going to alienate the people who like your comic books already? I don't know.
Potentially.
Okay, so I'm going to run through a few more of the comments. Dan is saying you can edit a partially finished work, but as Nick says, you can't edit a blank page. Yeah,
Oh,
that's kind of how I guess I haven't asked you yet if you've ever gotten like writer's block, but that's kind of how I power through writer's block is I just keep writing. So even if I do have a bunch of like I find that writer's block is usually like not that you don't have any ideas, it's just that you don't like the ideas you have. But
yeah.
sometimes if you write down the ideas that you don't like, you can go back and fix them to where you do like the idea.
Hmm.
I don't know, have you ever had writer's block?
I have. Um, it's not fun,
Yeah.
but for the most part, I've not felt pressed about it because up until fairly recently, I've not been writing.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it
so
sounds like you have a lot of ideas.
I do. I do. I've always wanted to write, and I just haven't been confident, is the thing. So now I'm finally like stepping into it, and I'm realizing it's okay. I can do it. Um, but
So does having a co-writer help with the confidence?
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially John is just such an amazing writer. So when I gave him the project that we co-wrote together is going to be called Mercy Kill. And so I had this script that I'd had, but I knew it wasn't it wasn't there. So I gave it to him, and he said he'd work with me on it. And so he rewrote it, and it was just like, I don't know, like glitter just rained from the ceiling when I was like reading the script, like, I didn't think of that. That's amazing. He just put in certain characters that would pull in the right vibe or make a situation make sense, and uh, he's excellent.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I find it really refreshing to hear you talk about your collaborators so nicely because I mean I hear so much about people like complaining about their collaborators, which and so it's nice to hear you. It sounds like you have a lot of love for your collaborators.
I do. I feel very lucky. um, feel bad for people that don't have a good experience. That sucks. Have you collaborated? Do you have
So
stories?
yeah, so I've done everything. I've drawn I've drawn stories that I've written. I've written stories for other people to draw, and I've drawn stories that other people have written. So I think of the three of those, I think I do like to have a collaborator, but I don't I didn't really like just drawing a story that somebody else wrote, and I didn't really have much say in what the story was. And like I said, I have so many ideas for stories. I'll probably never do that again.
Yeah, yeah. And what you create will probably be so much better from what you want to make too. It'll just be like
Yeah.
so much better too.
Yeah, it sounds like you're kind of like getting into like that mindset too, where I mean, at least from what I'm hearing you say, it sounds like you really enjoyed being a co-writer.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay, I'm
yeah.
gonna.
It gives you more skin in the game, so to speak.
Yeah, I think you're right. So I'm gonna try to get through some more of these comments. Mike is saying I'm going to go back to my original love of telling dick jokes. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of dick jokes in the comic book, Mike.
There's a lot. Yeah.
So, so Carl is saying like not so Carl for the most part writes novels, and
Okay.
he said that he can write for up to 2 or more years without getting a cent up front. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I mean that's a problem with um, um, novels as opposed to comic books. Um,
Mm.
so a dilemma that I'm having now, I don't know if you've thought about this, but I mean, I think a lot of comic book creators are having this dilemma right now. Like, um, with the cost of printing going up, is it
Mm.
still cost efficient to release individual issues? Um,
Okay.
or are you better off just writing the whole graphic novel and releasing it as a 100 or 200 page graphic novel? I don't know if you have an
Hmm.
opinion on that or if you've thought about that.
That's an interesting question. Because Kickstarter, from what I understand, it's easier to get like a shorter comic funded than it
Yeah,
is like a bigger book that would cost a bit more.
yeah,
You get more, but it costs more. So I don't know. I know personally I like graphic novels. I like bigger books. I like when the story is all there in one shot as a reader, but
yeah.
that's not everybody's preference.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I'm kind of thinking about doing maybe something that's kind of like in the middle, like maybe like still doing individual issues, but maybe making them like 30 or 40 pages long. Um,
Okay.
just
Like two
because,
in one?
yeah, I mean, because like I said, I mean, the price of individual issues is getting up to being like, you know, 275, $3. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm gonna sell this for $5, it's almost like not even worth doing. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm thinking I mean, I don't want to have to go move up to selling individual issues for $6, but that's the direction that it seems to be going. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. So Dan is saying I have to write because otherwise, when I pass on, all my stories die with me. I would rather be remembered afterward than be famous now. Okay,
Hmm.
that's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. Very Van Gogh.
It seems like
But
that made you
hopefully.
sad. It seems like that made you sad a little bit.
Well, a little bit, I guess, because I would hope that every creator can see the fruits of their labor being appreciated
Right.
by it didn't don't have to be famous, but it takes very little to make artists happy. Well, at least I can just speak for myself, I guess. Like a little bit of wow, good job. Wow, that was great. And like, it makes your day when someone loves your book, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think Dan. I know Dan well enough to know he has a pretty he's not famous, but he does have fans. So
that's good.
that's good. Yeah. So Carl is saying, I think he's talking about what you were saying earlier, like about having a palate cleanser, and
Okay, yeah.
Carl is saying that he can understand that because he wrote a book called The Mad Gasser Cheerleader, which was
Hmm.
it was an interesting book. I read that one, and it was based on a true story of a guy who He would go around and he would like put like a noxious gas in people's house, and then he would go around and kind of like do creepy stuff in their house. And
Whoa.
yeah, and so I think what Carl is saying is that he definitely needed a palate cleanser after that book.
Okay, yeah, I could see it. That's wild. True story, you said?
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was considered nonfiction. I think it was like based on a true story. And I
Oh
probably did a
man.
horrible job of explaining Carl's book, but if I messed anything up, he can explain it better. And Dan is agreeing with Carl. He says that after writing The Adventures of a Cold War Accidental Spy, I needed the
Mhm.
refreshment of a talking animals fantasy story. That makes sense. So Mike, I don't remember what Mike is referencing. Oh, I think it was when I said that it was nice to hear that you get along with your collaborators, but then he says that he's
Oh
an
yeah.
asshole. So Dan is saying that fantasy isn't his genre, but it's a good palate cleanser. I can see that. And Mike is saying I enjoy looking forward to something. Yeah. Um, Dan is saying, or should that be palate? I'm not sure how to spell it either. I forgot how to spell things I can distinctly say and have people understand.
Mm,
Dan says, Michelle, I am famous for other endeavors. I just want to make sure my stories live on after me. I'm a good writer, but not a prolific one. Okay.
okay, fair enough. Okay.
And Carl is saying, uh, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, Illinois. So,
Oh, I'm gonna look into that.
yeah,
That
I
is
read Carl's book.
crazy.
I haven't read the sequel. So I have a problem where I buy about 3 times as many books as I have time to read. So
Yeah.
I've read the Mad Gasser, but I know Carl wrote a sequel to it, which I have not taken the time to read.
Hopefully it's Mad Gasser goes to jail. Hopefully.
Yeah, I won't give away the I won't give away the ending in case you ever want to check it out. But I don't know. Did you have anything else? I usually try to keep these to about an hour. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about before we kind of finish things up?
No, I just, if anyone wants to laugh and get some pure escapism,
You know what? I'm not
give
sure if I'm.
Fantastic Freaks a try.
I can't remember if I clicked notify me on launch or not. So I'm gonna go back. Um, oh yeah. So I'm already following it.
Thank
So
you.
sure. You have 59 followers, which is good. You said it's good. It's
Oh,
starting on
nice.
Friday.
Friday. Yep. 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 We got an awesome variant cover by Flops Comics, um,
Oh,
which will be revealed Friday.
yeah. I'll have to check out Friday which cover I like better.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
And
This was fun.
Dan is saying that Carl did a great job. So um,
Nice.
yeah, I hope you had a good time. And thank you so much for
Oh,
being on. You were on once before, but it wasn't live.
right. I have a quick question though, because I wanted to ask you. Do you know what your next project is now that Beowulf is done?
So I already did issue 1 of of um, League of Cryptids. Um,
Okay.
so League of Cryptids is basically a superhero team comprised of cryptids. Sasquatch is the leader. The Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, the Jersey Devil, and Chupacabra. Um, they're all ancient aliens who were put on Earth to like help humans develop and like protect us from outside forces and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Have you released this yet on Kickstarter, or you're going to?
no, I released issue 1. My next project is going to be issue 2, and
Okay.
actually issue 2 is already finished.
Oh,
So I'm going to release that later this year. And so I'm going to be alternate. I'm also working on a prequel to Beowulf, because the big question that I always get about Beowulf is everybody asks me, why isn't Grendel in this comic book? And
hmm.
I said, I didn't put Grendel in the comic book because there's already a superhero, or there's already a comic book character called Grendel. But
Hmm.
I get that question often enough that I realize like I probably do need to write a prequel. So so I'm alternating between League of Cryptids and the Beowulf prequel.
Cool. I'm definitely gonna have to catch League of Cryptids when you launch it, because that sounds up my alley.
Cool. Are you a cryptid fan?
Yeah, I love monsters, or anything to do with creepy.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily believe in cryptids, but like I can watch like 100 YouTube videos in a row where like all about cryptids, like people talking about them and telling stories and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know
Mhm.
why I find it fascinating, but I
It
do.
is. Yeah, I do too. I understand it. Oh, sounds
Cool. Well,
cool.
yeah. Well, it was lovely speaking with you, Michelle. I'm
Thank
really
you.
looking forward to checking out Fantastic Freaks. Um,
Thank you.
and yeah, let me know the next time you have a comic book on Kickstarter. We'll do this again.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you everybody who watched. I'll see you next week.